zoom in a bit here so that you can see where I'm going to be working at. We're going to be right over there on that corner. Right over there. All right, let me scooch up just a little bit more. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not that much. Oh boy. Hang on. We'll get it right here. There. That look good? That looks good. We're going to be where the tulips are. Yes, where the tulips are. All right. So let me skip this ad that is playing and come over here, find our live chat. And there we go. There we have it. We are ready to go here. We're ready to go. All right. So I am curious about something right off the bat, and I don't see it. I don't know where it would be. I don't know. Looking for something I learned about the other day, but I don't see it. Okay. Goal, super chat, timer. I will celebrate. Nope. I don't see it anywhere. All right. So, join the conversation. No, that's not it. No. Okay, now how do I go back to my comments? Now where's my comments? There, get rid of that. Okay, get rid of that. Anything else in the fan funding? Oh, maybe it's in there. Let's see. Let's go there. Fan funding. Nothing comes up. Supers and highlighted membership show up here. Nope, that's just chat. Okay. Sorry, I'll explain in just a second what I'm looking for. Gifting. I should be in there. It should be in there. What's this little thing here? Sorry, I know I'm confusing you guys, but I'm looking for a gift membership. That's what I'm looking for. I've recently learned that you can gift a 1-month trial membership when you're in a live, but I'm not finding it. Okay, not finding it. I'm certain it's not over here. That's just the video. Yep, that's not that. Okay, I don't know. Someone's going to need to explain that to me. So, all right, let me get some hellos out here, and then we'll get this section open and get this party started. So hello to Linda and Catherine and Joyce and Michelle and Shannon and Marion and Kathy's here and Patty's here. Sherry, hello. Dawn, hey Dawn. Who else do we have? Leona's here. Gwenda, hello Gwenda. Paula. Let's see, who else? Paula's waving. Hi, Paula. Hello. I'll wave back. I'm waving back. Eleanor Diamond Painting. Hello. Marion is fixing dinner. Can you fix me some, Marion? Because I haven't had dinner yet. And didn't have lunch either. Other than, somebody's sending a bunch of smiley faces. Thank you for sending smiley faces. Happy faces. Who's sending the happy faces? Oh, maybe it's down here. What is here? No, that is to show support for my channel. Oh, that's where it's at. Okay. That's where you guys can send super stickers, super chats, and unlock membership perks, but it's also where I can gift memberships. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Now I know where it's at. Okay. It's down at the bottom with the little dollar sign. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. Hello, Crystal and Brenda and Karen. Sherry is being our cheerleader. She's out there telling everybody hello and welcoming her. Who is sending all the little loves and smiles and all the fun stuff? You guys. I, oh boy. Here comes some more. Here comes some more. You guys are funny. Oh, I can send hearts too, but and I can send. Can I do it? I don't know if it'll let me do it. It didn't let me do it. Hello, Sandy. Now, that's hilarious because that is hilarious. How do you get the? Oh, there's the shock face. I don't think it'll let me do it. Oh, maybe it does. No, maybe not. I don't know. Hi there, honey. You want your phone, don't you? It's in here charging away. Oh, hello. Cords. So it's a nice sunny day here today. It was actually quite nice today. It was quite a lovely day. I wasn't outside very much because I was inside all day long. Well, pretty much all day long. At the craft show, at the craft show, craft show, craft show. So, but it's very nice today. Sun's shining. It's pretty out. It's kind of warm. I got a hair stuck under my release paper. Do my diamond painting somewhere, somehow, some way. Will it come? There we go. I pull the paper off. I had the hold of the hair in my hand, and I got it off. All right, cool, lovely. Look at. You see that section I just opened? It's like all green, all green. Yes, I found it. I'm happy that I found it. To you guys, it looks just kind of like a white blob. It's all like blown out, lit up. It doesn't even look like it's green, but it's pretty much mostly green and some brown. The path is coming through here. This is the end of the path right here. And this right here, see this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see those 4 lines right there? No, you can't. They're deer legs. That's a deer. We're getting to the deer in this picture. The deer, the deer, the deer. Yes, that's where it's at, Gwenda, is in the dollar sign. So let's start there. If my voice disappears and you can't hear me, please shout out that you can't hear me because my mics have not been plugged in. They have not been plugged in and they could go dead. I don't know. They could go dead. And this mic system is so weird. There's no indicator on the mic as to how much charge it has. So I'm always kind of flying by the seat of my pants, you know? And I haven't had them plugged in. There's 2 pieces that have to get plugged in and charged up. One piece that goes into your phone, and the other piece is the mic that I attach to my lapel. It is a lapel mic. And I wish that they had charge indicators, but neither one of them do. Neither one. So I always just have to go by, it's been a few days. I should probably plug them in. But like I said, I haven't been home today and didn't think about plugging them in when I got home. I did think about plugging my phone in when I got home to make sure that was charged, though. So I do have a good charge on my phone. Yay, right? Yay. So let's talk about why I'm all curious about this gift membership thing. I talked about it yesterday in our crochet live. I was contacted by a YouTube representative and asked if I would be interested in participating in like a boot camp. I'm like, boot camp? That sounds like work. I don't know if I'm being a boot camp, but it was a boot camp for memberships. And there's um, there's our personal guy that talks to us, our teacher, so to speak, our mentor, and talks to us about memberships. Okay, so I thought, well, I might as well. I have memberships on my channel. I might as well check out this boot camp and see what it's all about because, you know, I can always learn stuff, right? I can always learn things. So let me check it out. So I signed up to be considered. You had to like apply, sort of. So I applied, and then I got an email that said, "Hey, you have been accepted into the membership boot camp, and we're having a meeting on this day, blah, blah, blah. Send me a link to come to the meeting." I'm like, okay, well, let's go and see what this is all about. So, very nice guy. He's sitting in this big office, this big, long conference table, just him and his laptop. That's it, just him and a laptop. And there were about 80 people, YouTube creators, that were in the meeting to learn about this. So this was basically, this first meeting, anyhow, was basically like introduction to memberships. This is memberships. This is kind of how they work. This is why people might want to have memberships on their channel. Da da da. Some of the perks, some of the things you can do. Just a basic introductory chat about memberships. So, of course, me having memberships on my channel already, I wasn't, that information, most of it wasn't going to apply to me because I've already done memberships. I know the good reasons why to do it, blah, 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 blah. I did learn a couple things, though, just a couple things. And one of them was about gifting memberships. So in a live stream, hello, welcome to the live stream. In a live stream, is this a replay? What, Sue? I don't know what you're talking about. But in a live stream, I have the capability to gift memberships. It's a trial 1 month membership, and I can give those to people. Okay. There's a certain amount that I can give, X amount a month, X amount each live, things like that. But for people who have wanted to maybe try out memberships and see what is up with them, what some of the perks are and things like that, I can gift a trial membership. So that's why when I got on, I was all curious about like, okay, where is that? Where is that button where I can gift a membership to someone, right? Because I've never done it before. I didn't know it existed. So that's what I was looking for at the very beginning. And I have found it, so now I know how to do it. And maybe in the future, probably not tonight, but maybe in the future, I will be able to maybe invite some people to try out memberships for a month. Okay. Well, I talked about some of this yesterday, Sue, in my crochet live. Not all of it, but some of it. So no, it's not a replay. Oh goodness. Anyhow, so I think over the course of the next few weeks, as I take this little boot camp class, learn more things, and learn how to more effectively run memberships on my channel, then maybe we'll come back and we'll talk about, some trial 1 month gift memberships for people who might be interested. Main thing is I have some work to do on my memberships to make them more, I don't know what the word I want, make them more of value. That's what I'll say. More value for people. I mean, there's other things that we can do, stuff like that. And I'm going to be learning about that more and more. Okay, so there's that. And then in the future, I might just, be asking people if there's anybody who's been really interested in like trying out memberships to see what they're about, what you get, things like that. Then we can talk about a gift. How's that sound? It sounded pretty cool to me. So anyhow, that's that. So I'm in school basically. I'm in school. I'm taking a class, taking a class and learning some things. So and I'm all for that. I appreciate the fact that there are people that work for YouTube that will do things like that to help creators out, to help creators maximize, what they're doing on their channels and things like that. I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, I wish there was another class for just basic things to do with your channel besides just memberships, teach us some things that we might not know and how to optimize and things like that. So I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Um, I'd be willing for more learning, more classes, more training for sure. And it was like a 45-minute meeting. You could leave whenever you wanted and stuff, but very interesting. So yeah, I did that yesterday, I think. Yeah. Other people can gift them. This is true. That is why it's down there underneath that $sign. Yes, because you could gift a membership to someone else. And they talked about that a little bit. Like somebody asked why, if someone on their channel purchased a gift membership for someone, where the price came from, how they chose the price. So yeah, you just go to that little $sign down there, apparently, Brenda. I've never known anybody to do it on my channel. So I thought that was interesting. Hello, April. How is April today? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. So it's not showing up on your iPhone. And I remember people wanting to just join my channel, join my memberships, being a little issue trying to find the button even to just join memberships, you know? So, Sherry, underneath the chat, you don't see the little $sign on your iPhone? I'm just curious. Okay, yep. So Linda said, yeah, she had to go to her laptop. I know there's something about the iPhone that is, you have to do things a different way on an iPhone than you do on Android or a computer or, you know, a laptop. Yeah. And I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because we know Apple is Apple. Apple is their own thing and they have their own operating system and it doesn't always jive with people who are Android or whatnot. So that's why. That's the only reason I got. And I know that I tried to help somebody once that wanted to become a member. And it was like, well, you have to do this, you have to go here, you have to try this. And, my suggestion always is to anything like that you're not able to access or make work on your iPhone is just go to a laptop or a computer and try it there. Because it's always different than it is on someone's iPhone. I think even on iPads, I believe. So you gotta kind of flit around and try it. Oh, you did that for somebody on a channel, Linda? So you had to go to your laptop and then you could do it. Yeah. Interesting. Yep, the $sign is down there by the emoji thing, and I mean it's right next to where you type comments in the chat. So, yep. Uh, Oh, so if you go to the dollar sign, you got the dollar sign, Sherry. If you go to the dollar sign, it only offers you super sticker and super chat. It's got to be an iPhone thing. Because on mine, it's super sticker, super chat, membership, unlock members only. There's the membership link for you or anybody else. And then there's the membership gifting there. So, yeah, there's Brenda. I've been a member for 10 months. Yeah, we get 4 things. I get 4 things anyhow. Hello, Jeanette. How is Jeanette? Hope you're doing well. So that's enough chit chat about YouTube stuff, I guess, and how YouTube runs and operates. And yeah, if there's ever something that you can't do, just try it on a computer or a laptop or, try a different way, I guess, because Apple is Apple and they're their own unique creature. And I don't have anything Apple, so I can't ever really speak to how the Apple stuff works because I don't have any Apple products. Zip, zero, none. Well, look at all of you people there. Hello, members. Everybody's showing their proud membership there. Catherine's been a member for 29 months. Sherry for 7 months. Paula for 29 months. You guys know when I started memberships? Anybody know that? Anybody know the answer to that question? When I enabled memberships on my channel? That's one thing I want to redo. I will tell you that. I want to redo my welcome or my intro video for memberships, like explaining memberships and all that, and telling everybody about them and the levels and the tiers and all that good stuff. I need to redo that video. That's on my list of things to do. Kathy, 57 months. And you know what, Kathy? I can verify that you have been around for a long time because, the handy dandy book right here. The handy dandy book right there. And Kathy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th person on my list. 5th person on my list, Kathy. Yeah. Well, there were some other people in there. No, you are not, Lynn. We're just talking about memberships. That you can't crash a membership live, by the way. You would not be able to crash a membership live. If you're a member, that's the only way you'll be able to get in. So no. There were some other people in there probably before you, Kathy, but for whatever reasons, they have canceled memberships, and so you have moved up to number 5 on my list. Yep, you are up there with the first people. But did anybody have an answer to my question? When do you think I started memberships? When do you think I actually activated them? Any guesses? Any guesses at all? How long? When? When? I know for sure. I didn't even need to look it up. I knew. I don't know the exact month, but I do know the year. Because many times when I start to look at something on my channel, it brings up my membership video. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah. And I keep thinking, I really need to redo that. I really need to redo that video because it is old. It is old. Well, Lynn, you can join whenever you would like, my dear. It is old because I did that in 2020. Yep. The reason that I know that is because I started off the video really silly, like talking about why I'm wearing a hat. Sorry about the hat, but we haven't been able to go to the hairdresser. So I know it was during COVID, so I know it was in 2020. So yeah, I'm wearing a baseball cap. I never ever wear a baseball cap, but my hair was a fright at that point. It was horrible at that point in time. It was bad. Hello, Paula. So I have this baseball cap on. I really need to redo the thing. That's what I want to do. In my list of, other things I need to do. Yeah. So, all right. Now I'll stop talking about my boot camp and my membership training class I'm taking. So, but back to today. Today was beautiful. I have talked about, I don't, in my whip and chat, I know for sure in my live yesterday, hoping that the weather was good today because this craft show held in a very small town, old town, very old town, a very small town. 38 months for you. Um, what was I going to say? Held in this little small town. And when I was contacted by the lady asking me if I wanted to come, she was telling me all the things that this little town was going to be doing, right? They were going to have a book sale at the library, something going on at the museum, an Easter egg hunt, all these things happening in this little town. So I was like, okay, it's about 20 to 25 minutes from my house, depending on how fast you drive. Hello, Angie. How are you? I saw you're going to go live later. Angie is back in her craft room. Whoop. So she's able to do lives again. Lynn, Lynn, that's not true. You don't have to join everybody's, Lynn. Not everybody has memberships, by the way. So you'd probably be surprised how many people you watch that actually have memberships on their channel and how many don't. Because there's not that many people I watch that actually have memberships enabled on their channels. I'm only a member of 2 people's channels. Yeah, and I watch a lot of people, and most of the people I watch don't have them. So, um, but yeah, because they were doing all these things in this little town, and the Easter egg hunt, and the craft show, you know, you hope for great weather because good weather will bring people out. If it's crappy weather, you're not going to get very good attendance, right? So the whole thing cost $10, $10. And I was like, well, for $10, it's worth going and just checking it out, you know, and just kind of seeing what it's all about in this little town. So I did. And it was a nice day. People did come out for the Easter egg hunt, but there were not very many people. Not very many people at all in this little town. And the building that it was in was called the community room, and it was very small. And there were about 10 to 12 vendors in there. And we were packed in. We were packed in. It would not have been the way I would set up my tables at all. And I felt like it was hard for people to get in and see my stuff. Because what I found when I walked in is I had 2 tables and they were parallel, and they were long tables. They were 8-foot tables, so I could put a lot of stuff. And there was no place for me to really sit. I could not even fit my outdoor chair, like you know what I'm talking about, like camping type chair. Could not fit that between the 2 tables. So I had to get one of those like metal had those metal folding chairs. That's what I got to sit on. And I tucked it way back against the wall. So I was out of the way as much as possible, but it was not conducive for people to come in to my booth and look around. You know what I'm saying? When Dale and I were in there setting things up, because I just give him the diamond paintings and he sets up that side. Oh, could not put up my screen. There was no place to put up my screen to put my hanging paintings on. So those didn't get displayed at all. So it was not the best setup for me, anyhow. There were other tables that were different, other tables that were like against the walls, and you sat behind your tables, which I would have preferred that any day over this setup. But it is what it is. So I got there, we got set up, and there wasn't anybody there for quite a while. There were no people coming in for quite a while. Hello, Michelle. Um, and then a few people came in, nothing major, just a few here and there, until the Easter egg hunt. So the show started at 10, and there wasn't really too many people coming in until the Easter egg hunt, which was at 11. After the Easter egg hunt, then some people started to trickle in, the families with their kids, because the Easter egg hunt was right across the road, just like in a grassy lot, you know. So after that, they started to come in, and they came in steadily for a little while. There wasn't, I don't think there was much going on. Like I said, this little small town, to like keep people there for very long, And I don't know anything about the advertising of it, how well it was advertised, how it was promoted. I mean, I put it on my Facebook page so that people around me could know if, they were interested. But, like I said, it is what it is. All in all, it is what it is. And you never know. And that's the thing with doing craft shows. You never know until you're there and you try it out. Some have been quite successful. I've done really well. Some have been kind of like, oh, that was bad. I don't think I'll ever do that again, and you just test the waters and try things out. So, anyhow, saying all of that, you're going to think I'm going to tell you that it was terrible and I didn't sell anything, right? This was the very first time they had done this craft show, Brenda. Very first time. Yep. So it does, it wasn't an established craft show at all. First time out the gate. And the lady who organized it, she did a pretty nice job with what she, had to work with. She lives in that little town. So, and pretty much anybody that you saw was from the town. That was all there was to it. And so you're not going to get a huge draw. It's out like in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how close the biggest city is to this little town, but not very close. You know what I'm saying? Not very close. There was a baseball tournament or something going on at the park, and they thought maybe they could go draw some people in from the baseball tournament to come over, but no, they weren't really interested in a craft show, No, that wasn't on their agenda for the day. They were over at the ballpark drinking beers and having a good time, Craft showing was not what they were all about. So anyhow, yeah, but let me just say, again, it cost me $10. I told Dale, I'm like, okay, I sell pretty much, well, there are some things less than $10, but I could sell just one thing and make back my money. So, okay, let's give it a go. I did okay. I did okay. It wasn't anything fantastic. I'm not getting rich on this for sure. I did sell some stuff. And after my fee of $10, I made $101. So, I mean, $101. Like I said, I'm not getting rich here, but hey, it's $100 in my pocket that I didn't have before. And you never know when you go to these shows. And I've, talked to other people about this. And I'm like, since I have two crafts, I have crochet and I have diamond painting, I never know which one's going to sell, if they're both going to sell, or if it's going to be all one sided. There have been shows I've gone to, like, I haven't done a lot of shows, you guys know that, but there have been shows I've gone to where I didn't sell diamond painting stuff. Or there have been shows I've gone to, I didn't sell crochet stuff. Or it's been a split. You just never know. You never know what's going to catch people's eyes, right? So this one was heavily, heavily diamond painting. Heavily diamond painting. And stuff that I didn't have to prepare. I didn't really prepare more diamond painting items to take to this show. It's just stuff that I had. Now, all of that crochet stuff that I made, none of it sold. None of it. Nothing. Not a pillow, not a loaf cat, not a nothing. I did sell one crocheted item, and it was a bag that I made. And I think I have to make some more bags before the next show. I'm definitely not going to have to worry about making any more Easter things, no more bunnies, loaf cats, loaf bunnies, any of that stuff, Easter eggs. I'm not going to worry about making any of those things. But if I could make a couple more bags, if I could make a couple more bags before that show, and it's 2 weeks away, I think, that would be a good use of my time to make a couple more bags. I only have one like full-size bag left for sale. I have a few little Percy things, smaller ones that are cute, but I don't have like the bags. I only have one left. I have one that's almost done. I've been working on it when we watch our Chicago shows. It's made with that flower square, the all-in-one flower granny square yarn. And I've just been making squares and making squares and making squares. And so finally I got enough squares I could put them together and make a bag. So I have all the squares sewn together into 2 panels. And I'm working on joining the panels together now. And then making a handle, and it's done. So I can certainly complete that by, it's 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. So I'm going to try to get that one done and then see if there's a couple of patterns I can find and some cool yarn. They've got to be pretty. That's it. They've got to be pretty. See if I can do maybe a couple more bags before the next show and not worry about any more of the fun little things, Eastery little things. I don't need any of that. I have never sold a bucket hat. Never sold a bucket hat. So I'm not making any more bucket hats. I have never sold a bandana. So I'm not making any more bandanas, right? I don't know. So the crochet end of things was disappointing today for sure. But I made up for it with diamond painting stuff that I didn't really have to work hard to get those sales. I didn't have to work hard to make them. They were already made. That was an easy one. So anyhow, that's how the craft show went. So now we look forward to the one in 2 weeks. I just got an email today from them. That is Jackson's school. Now Jackson Devin works at the school he goes to. That's why he goes there, because Devin works there. Hello, Sue Bell. Hello, Sue Bell. Kathy, I didn't sell any of my little animals. I didn't sell a duck, a bunny, a loaf cat, a loaf dog. I didn't sell anything. Just the bag. That was it. So the lady across from me, I will say, she did like, you've seen the towels that have the crocheted top to hang on your stove or your refrigerator or whatnot. She had a whole rack of those, and she sold a couple of those. I know she did. And then she had amigurumi, all the little animals. And I told Dale, I said, she's a very sweet lady. Her animals are not the best. They just, I mean, honestly, they just weren't the best. They were all made with just worsted weight yarn and probably the wrong size hook because they were all really holy, very holy, and you could see all the stuffing and everything through them. I think she might have sold one, but I don't think she sold a ton of them. And please don't take this wrong. I'm not being mean or, that's not my intent at all. But, sometimes you can just tell. There were interesting yarns they were made out of. A lot of the animals were made out of variegated yarns. And so they just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think I'm being all judgy and all, I'm trying not to be, but you know me, I am honest. I am honest to a fault, probably, but they just weren't the greatest, you know? But she wasn't really selling them. I didn't sell any. It is what it is. So we move on. We move on to the next show. And that's the thing with this. You do some shows, you learn. You experiment, you learn, you know? You learn good shows, you learn shows you don't want to go back to again. You learn about products and merchandising and figuring out what people like, trying to figure out what people like. That's the hardest part. That's always the hardest part because you never know. Every show is so different and you're in a completely different area, different price points, all that stuff. And you never know till you're there and you try. So um, I never really feel bad about a turnout of a show. I always try to look at it as it was a learning experience. I learned something. Every time I've learned something, right? Well, you'll have to let me know when that is, Angie. I have heard a lot of people do big pumpkin things. And I mean, I did the Apple Festival at the Country Mill last year, and I did really well the first day. But the first day on Saturday, they had a lot of things going on at the cider mill. They had dance recitals, they had all kinds of activities and contests and things happening. And the first day, I did really, really well. Second day was a bust. I mean, a complete bust. Like, I sold nothing the second day. Not a thing. So, I mean, the show overall turned out okay for me because I did so well on the first day. But I'll tell you what, that second day, it was like torture. It was like torture, you know, sitting there with no people there. There's nothing worse than that for me to just sit there, right? Um, no, I probably won't try to sell anything at my retreat. No, no, I don't think I'll take anything. Besides, I don't think I have room to take much with me to the retreat, honestly. My car is going to be so full with retreat stuff. It's crazy. Matter of fact, if Karen and I can't figure this out, Angie, to get all this in our cars, I might be swinging by your place and seeing if I can throw some stuff in your car. Oh, I've got a lot of stuff. So last year, Angie helped me with the retreat. We started it and we were just like, it's just going to be this low frill, which means not a lot of door prizes, not a lot of, just some swag items and just, low key. Well, that's kind of changed for this year a bit. I got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I might need some transporting of goods. Transporting of goods. Will you let me know if you want to come? I got stuff I could put in your car right now, Angie. I got stuff that could go in your car today. Matter of fact, we thought we were going to take my car to this craft show. Dale was like, it'll all fit in your car. And I'm like, okay, well, we can try. But I had to unload stuff from my car that I have just left in my car for a few weeks now. I've just left it in my car because I thought, well, why take it out of my car? I'm going to have to turn around and put it back in my car. So there's that. And guess what? The stuff for my craft show today did not fit in my car. Just for the record, it did not fit. So we ended up taking it all out of my car and putting it in the truck. Yep. So, yeah, so now I got stuff sitting in my garage because I didn't put it back in the car yet. So now it's just in the garage. Oh, but hey, people coming to the retreat, you guys, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. So. Oh, Angie, you got bags? Have you been making bags? You make stuff all the time. Angie crochets a lot. Well, you used to crochet a lot. I don't know. I hear that you're doing more cross stitch now, but hey, you know those bags from Texas that one lady was making, the little vinyl fronted bags? Somebody was selling those today. I mean, they're not good for crochet projects because they're pretty flat, but yeah, somebody had a bunch of those they were selling today at the craft show. Well, Lynn, start working on it for next year, okay? Start working on it for next year so that you can come. By the way, Lynn, if you found somebody right now, that would be amazing because I have 3 openings. I have three openings. Yeah. Don't ask. It's a long story. Don't ask. Long story. And right now, personally, I don't even want to talk about it, but I got 3 openings. Yep. So there's that. And you know what? It may just end up that way. It just might end up that way that I don't fill them because we literally are a couple weeks away. What are we? 3 weeks away? Is it 3? Well, the craft show is 2 weeks away. So yeah, it's about 3 weeks away. And if I don't fill all those spots, there's nothing I can do about it. And there are no refunds at this point. So unless I fill your spot. So yeah. So that's the story on that. I'm doing the best I can, folks. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying. I'm trying. I am so tired of green. I'm tired of green. Bye, Lynn. You still crochet a lot. Okay. I didn't think you would stop, but so much green. I mean, when you look at the picture of the painting overall, it doesn't look like there's a ton of green in it. But man, when you're sitting here and diamond painting it, it's like, yep, yep, there's lots of green, lots of green, lots of green. I was not surprised when I opened up this section that there was so much green in it because, yeah. Hey, I have made it all the way across the bottom. One release paper all the way across the bottom is where I'm at right now. This section I'm doing right here is the second row across the bottom. So that tells you where I'm at. This is halfway. I'm halfway, and then I'm working across the bottom now. Yay, yay me, yay, yay me. Every time I stop working on it, and I move it around on the table quite often, you know. I probably won't move it for a while now because now I'm going up the side. I'm going to try to go up the side, one release paper all the way up the side, and then another release paper up the side, which puts me at the weird middle stuff I have to do. I go across the top too, but yeah, I can go across the top. But I don't have to move it for a while because I can do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 release papers going up the side without moving it. So I'm not moving it for a while. Not moving it for a while. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be an outdoor work day. Yeah, outdoor work day. It's time to get outside and get into the flower beds and start doing some weeding. I bought one package of bulbs that I want to put out in front of our picture window. Picture window, is that what we call it? Our big window. Because I had planted little spring blooming bulbs all around the flower bed out there. And a lot of them have just, I don't know, disappeared apparently because instead of having all of these pretty little flowers blooming all the way around the outer edge, I don't. I had a few crocus that came up earlier and bloomed. The crocus are done. Then I have these little blue flowers that are currently blooming and some little white flowers. But now that everything has come up and I can see where everything is, I can see where the holes are now because there's definitely spaces where there's no plants, no bulbs. I think they're all bulbs too. I don't know where they went, but we're going to get out there tomorrow and work on planting some more bulbs around that flower bed. Everything needs weeded. As hard as Dale and I worked in the fall to weed everything and cut things back, cut off the dead stuff and like winter prep everything, man, it's a mess. It's a mess out there. It is a mess. Hello, Karen, who can't stay. Well, bye, Karen. Yeah, and it's been cold. Who wants to go outside and do all that yard work when it's cold? It has been cold. It has been, I believe, unseasonably cold. I think every time we listen to the weather, it's like, yeah, we're about 20 degrees less than we should be right now, our average temperature, or, but it's going to be nicer, somewhat, and then it's going to get cold. I don't know why it's doing this. Why? Why is it doing this? We'll get a couple nice days, and then we'll get cold again. And then it'll get nice a little bit, and then it'll rain. Oh my gosh, we've had so much rain. Rain and rain and rain and cold. It's just been, ugh. It's been kind of miserable. It doesn't feel like spring. I mean, it doesn't feel like we're really having a spring, you know? It feels like some weird extension of winter, except the grass is getting green. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. But tomorrow is supposed to be nice. That's all I know is tomorrow is supposed to be nice, and I'm gonna need to take advantage of that. Now, I don't know if we're gonna go to the gym still because Sunday is a gym day. If we're gonna get up and go to the gym still and then come home, work in the yard, or what? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, something is clearly eating them. Clearly eating them. Unseasonably warm in Florida. Well, yeah, I've heard other places like that too. I think I heard Arizona was really hot. Um, it was interesting to watch. We watched the weather this evening. I think it was just this evening. We watched the weather, and it was like over in the Northeast, they're getting snow. Snow. Other places we're getting storms with rain and hail, and other places were like super hot. Like wherever is it California? Where is it Coachella? I think that's the name of it. Is Coachella? It's like a great big concert type thing. And they were talking about how unseasonably, dangerously hot it was. Hot to be out um, at this concert. And I'm like, well, that is not us. Not us. We are not unseasonably hot. We would be unseasonably cold, if anything. But Marion, if I could send you rain, I would, because we've had plenty. Our pond is full, 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 full. The pond is full. We got plenty of rain. We don't need any more for a while. I will just say that. We don't need any more for a while. But doesn't mean we're not going to get it, because I think we are. I think it's going to be nice for a couple days, and then it's going to get cold and rainy for a few days. Because, why not? That's what we do here. That's apparently how we live around here. Couple nice days, and then cold and rain. Seems to be the standard. Anyhow, what else you guys want to talk about? I could talk TV, but I don't watch TV. Talk movies, but I don't watch movies. Um, what else we have to talk about? I saw a picture of the grandkid earlier today. He got a haircut. Boy likes long hair. So they convinced him to cut it a little bit. It was getting really long and kind of straggly. They got a haircut. It's not a short, but it looks good. It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. He looked pretty good. I guess I get to play taxi service on Tuesday. He needs to be picked up from school and dropped off somewhere else. I'm like, okay. So, not really coming to my house. I'm just going to pick him up and go deliver him somewhere else. Yeah, can you do that? Sure. Sure, no problem. I can do that. That'll be interesting. We won't have much time to, hang out together or anything, but I'll get to listen to him sing. Boy loves to sing. Every time we're in the car, he's singing away, singing away, singing away. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked the weather. I haven't not checked the calendar yet for the 1st of May. I don't know. Oh, she got 8 inches. That's a lot of hair to cut off, isn't it? That's a lot of hair. He probably got several inches cut off. It actually looks really good. I'm glad that they got it cut for him. He does like it to grow, but I think it looks good the way it is. It's just, it's just kind of like down to his shoulders, little curl at the end. I think it looks good. I have to make sure I really tell him how great his hair looks when I see him on Tuesday. Your hair looks awesome. I love your haircut. Because I do like it the way it is. You know, I can feel all good about it. Yeah. Well, that's my exciting life. I have a loaf bunny I started. I finished the little loaf bunny, and I have the bunny that I'm working on for the crochet live. I'll finish that bunny, and then I'm done. I think done with amigurumi stuff for a while. Don't think I'm going to do any more for a while. The nice thing about today being fairly slow at the craft show is because, I always take crochet with me when I go to a craft show, just in case I have a bunch of downtime. And today I had a bunch of downtime. So I was able to sit and crochet. I was working on my Expression Fiber Arts Mystery Crochet Along, and I'm just about done. I was able to just about finish. What month is this? March is Clue. March is Clue. I just about finished. Hello, Dorothy. Right, Angie? They might be able to. They might be able to. I don't know. They worked on Jackson for a little while to get him to get a haircut, but it looks really good. Oh boy, Sherry. I I'll just say I hit the part that they keep talking about, that the book is spicy. Mm-hmm. I hit the spicy part. I did. Well, at least at this point, a spicy part. I'll just say I hit a spicy part. And I was like, oh, there it is. There it is. I mean, we're almost done with the book, and we just hit the spice. I was like, okay, way to go on holding off the spice till the end. I guess that's why it's a 5-book series. We have to have more books because we're just starting the spice at the end of the first one. So, yeah. But I was like, well, okay, there we go. Ding, 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 ding. There it is. Man, they waited a long time. I get that they're building up the whole story and all of the relationships and the whole thing with the school and all that, but still, right? Goodness. It took a while. It took a while. Oh no, Brenda. Ugh, I hate that when that pink went onto the canvas. I hated that. I only got one painting like that where the pink went onto the painting, but man, that was annoying. That was annoying. I've always said I am not a huge fan of this perforated paper. I won't use it like it's intended to be used, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like seeing the pink lines, all that stuff. It's just distracting to me. I don't like it, especially if you're doing a video and you're trying to show things and you got these pink lines. I don't like it. But working on this painting, I have found just one good use of or good thing about the perforated paper. One good thing. Just one. Okay? And that is, since this is such a big painting and there's a lot of plastic, I can tear it off when I want it to be gone. I mean, I'm the kind of person that will cut off the plastic When there's too much plastic, I don't keep the plastic on throughout the whole diamond painting. I'm a get rid of it kind of person. So I would cut it off. It is kind of nice so that I don't have to cut it and I can just rip it off there. Get out of here. Get out of here. So I found that kind of refreshing a few times over the last few weeks. I can just go rip off any excess plastic I don't want. So there's one plus side to it. Just one plus side. I think there's still more downsides than there are plus sides to it, but that's just my opinion. My opinion. For whatever my opinion is worth, right? But it was nice to be able to tear it off. Get out of here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I have not been a fan of it from the very beginning. So, and if it wasn't here, I would just do what I've always done. Actually, okay, when I have torn off the plastic at the perforations, I will say this. It's usually not where I want it to cut off, if that makes sense. Like if I was to cut it, I would cut it exactly where I wanted it to end. But tearing it off by the perforations usually isn't where I would have really cut it if I was cutting it off. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Ding ding, makes sense. Like I tore it off one night. Bye, Linda. I tore it off one night, and then I ended up with like this little piece of the plastic, like this wide, that was still in the way, and I was like, okay, you're still in the way. You are still in my way. But I just dealt with it. I just dealt with it. I just took my beautiful cover minder that I got from Miss Brenda and just cover mindered it back out of my way. So, oh, Brenda, I got your package. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You hear that? Silence. Silence. Oh, sometimes silence is golden, isn't it? Are you guys quiet people, or do you need to have noise? I know there are people out there in the world who like always have a TV on or something on just for noise. You like noise? It doesn't tear right either. Well, you do have to work with it a little bit. Sometimes it's not on straight. Well, that would be fun, Dawn, if it's not on straight. I haven't had that happen, but well, it sounds like most of us here are not huge fans of the perforated plastic. Yeah, I'm good with quiet. I'm really good with quiet. Dale always makes fun of me because when I go to bed at night, I go to bed, I climb in, I get all cozy, grab my book, and I read. Now, the light is on in the bedroom. The light's on, and I'm reading. And then when I'm done reading, I just close my book and put my book down and go to sleep. And so the light is still on, like the overhead light in the bedroom. It's still on, right? And Dale always makes fun of me. He's like, I don't know how you can sleep with the light on. I'm like, I sleep best with some light on. Like, I always like to have the living room light on. It's just a lamp. I tried to have Alexa program the thing. It's on a timer and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted the light to come on at dark and go off before dawn. It doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. it just shuts off when it wants, and it goes off at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I don't want it to go off at 1 o'clock in the morning. I like there to be a light out there in case I get up. You know, I get up, the dogs want out, something like that. I live in the country, right? I live in the country. There's no light out here. There's no light out here. It is dark out here. So when I'm up, these are staticky. Lord. When I'm up, walking through my house, it's pitch black. I mean, there's a few little lights like, the smoke detector, red light or whatever, but it's pretty dark. So I like to have, it's like my little night light. And now it doesn't come on, it doesn't stay on like I want it to. And I have given up trying to program it through Alexa. I think I'm just going to go back to the old school timer, just disconnect it somehow from Alexa and just go back to a timer that I can set for, the time I want it to be on and the time I want it to be off. Right? Makes sense. But I don't like noise. I don't like noise. Like if he comes to bed and turns the TV on and the TV is playing and I'm trying to sleep, that's no good. That's no good. So he can sleep with the noise and not the light. I can sleep with the light, but I don't want the noise. So clearly we're opposite there. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody else is like this, but when I'm reading, I can't really focus if there's other talking going on. You know, like if the TV's on, he's watching the news or the weather or whatever, I have a hard time focusing on the book I'm reading if the TV is on. Yeah. That's why I go to bed before he does, so I can read in quiet with my light on and then go to sleep. Ah, your thinking is too loud. Well, does it keep you from thinking though, Brenda? Just because there's noise? I don't know. I My brain goes noise, no noise. It doesn't seem to matter. Uh, Dale's one of those people. He comes to bed, he lays down, and he's like zonk. I'm like, really? I go to bed, I lay down, and I'll be laying there like, da da da. I got to do this. I got to do that. I forgot to do this today. I got to make this thing. Yeah, that's me every night. Every night I go to bed, and that's why I read before I go to bed, before I go to sleep, because it helps a little bit, to tire me out, to get my brain off of all of the daily things I've been thinking about. So it does help. And usually reading kind of makes me sleepy, so it helps me go to sleep. But yeah, sometimes you just cannot shut off your brain. It won't listen. It won't stop. It just won't shush, right? Oh my goodness. That reminds me of the book we're reading, Fourth Wing. I'm going to just give you a spoiler here if you've never read it, but in the book, the girl, the main character, communicates with her dragon, or dragons, I should say, um, in her thoughts. She can hear them, they can hear her. Um, the guy that she's kind of connected to, they communicate in thoughts. It's like the two people and the three dragons can all hear each other's thoughts and talk to each other just in their brains. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Would that be just like the craziest thing? I I could not deal with that. Like you just heard what I'm thinking. You heard what I'm thinking. You hear my thoughts and you're responding to things I'm thinking. Oh my gosh. I couldn't I couldn't stand that. And I don't think I would like hearing everybody else's thoughts either, you know? Or communicate. No, stop. Stop. Yeah, a light on in the living room when you live in the country. I'm telling you. It's just, yeah, I feel it's necessary. Hi, Jody. How's Jody? Yeah. So telepathically, there you go, Dawn. There's the word we're looking for. Yep. Drive me nuts. I'm like, stop. Stop. Get out of my head. I don't want to hear you. Go away. Yeah. Oh, going to sleep after retirement was harder? Huh? There might be something to that, I suppose. Yeah. Funny little games we play, right? To make our life easier, I guess. Dale also likes frogs. Like, he says there's nothing better than opening up the windows and hearing the frogs to go to sleep by. I'm like, uh, no. At least not our frogs in our pond. We haven't heard our frogs in our pond yet. The peepers are here, but they're out back at the river. But the frogs in our pond have not quite woken up yet, I don't think, because I have not heard a single one of them yet. But let me tell you what, there are times when those frogs are awake and doing their thing out there in the pond. I'm like, no, you are way, way, way too loud. I cannot sleep with all that noise. They'll close the windows. Close the windows. They are too loud. Frogs. And he loves it. He loves the frog sounds. He's like, it's just like a lullaby, soothing him to sleep. And I'm like, not me. Sue, I would challenge you. I would challenge you to come to my house and try to sleep with the windows open with all them frogs. I would challenge you to see if you could do it. They are so loud. So loud. Yeah. I mean, think about it. My ears ring all the time. I got that tinnitus junk, crappy stuff. So my ears are ringing all the time. Last thing I need on top of the ears ringing is to hear frogs going on all the time. No, that's just one more nonstop weird noise I don't need in my life. I mean, I don't mind listening to the frogs when I'm not trying to sleep, you know? I'm fine with it then, but when I'm trying to sleep, shut up. Just shut up. Oh, can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, Shannon, it's almost here, Shannon. It's almost here. You're about to be in heaven. I'll just say that. You'll be in heaven. Oh, goodness. Dale has got this thing on his phone, some app on his phone, and you can go outside at night. We did this last night. You can go outside at night and you can point your phone at the sky. Okay, you point your phone up at the sky, and then it shows you what the constellations are and stuff that you're pointing your phone at. I'm like, does anybody else not ever quite um, get constellations? I mean, can you look up at the sky and see constellations? and know what they are? Like, can you look up and see Cancer and Gemini and all those things up there in the sky? Can you pick them out? Because I certainly can't. I certainly cannot. And even with this app that he has on his phone, which shows them to you, and like you're pointing up there, and it's like, okay, here's you get the picture, like here's a dog, here's this dog, and I'm like, but then I look up at the sky without the phone, I don't see a dog. I don't even see the stars that are supposed to be there forming the dog. And Dale's just like, well, yeah, that's because a lot of them are like too far away, or they're not bright enough. You can't see them all. And I'm like, well, then how are you ever supposed to be able to see all the constellations? I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. The cicadas drove you nuts. We did not have that problem. We did not have the cicadas. Yay. We did not have the cicadas. I know, but that would drive me crazy too. It would. But we did not have them. Yay. I don't even think I saw any cicadas in the whole cicada thing that happened. It just wasn't up here in Michigan. We were not in cicada territory. Look how much I got done. See, I mean, I can work on this for hours. Hours. I mean, I've worked on this for an hour and almost a half now, and look how much I got done. And I have not really stopped much. Yeah, I can find the Big Dipper. I can find the Big Dipper. That's right, Shannon. That's about all I can find is the Big Dipper. And that's because I think all of those stars show up really well, like all the time, or mostly all of the time. Um, and it's easy to spot, I guess, but I don't get the constellation thing. I just don't get it. And who made all this up, anyhow? And who decided that this little group of stars over here? Have you ever looked at like a drawing of a constellation? It shows you the drawing of whatever it's supposed to be, a dog, a fish, a dragon, or whatever they are. But really, the few points on the drawing that is actually a star are so few. It's like, under what stretch of someone's imagination did they decide that those few dots put together created whatever, Libra or whatever it's supposed to be? I don't know. Who created all that? Where'd that come from? I think it's a bunch of nonsense. No, I don't. But I do, sort of. Anyhow, it was kind of fun for a few minutes to just go out there and look at the sky through his phone and see what we're supposed to be seeing, what constellation we're supposed to be looking at. I saw 3 really bright stars in a row last night. They were in a complete line, just straight across, just 3. And I thought, well, what is that? My first guess was, is it Orion's belt? Is that Orion's belt? Because it's a belt, straight line. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. But when we shined the phone or pointed the phone over there, you know what? It wasn't a constellation at all. It was literally 2 stars and a planet. One of them was a planet. And they didn't make any constellation at all. I was like, well, that's disappointing. I thought I found something, and I didn't find anything. I found nothing. Oh, well, they might have been, Sue. Yeah. That Dawn, you too. That may be true too. Mm-hmm. I don't know how else they made up that stuff, right? I really don't. Because literally, some of those little constellations up there have just a few stars, and they're saying, oh, well, look, if you just draw this line from here to here to here, then look what you get. And I'm like, well, that's a bit of a stretch of the imagination, if you ask me. I'd need a few more dots to connect to make that connection, you know? But in case you want to know, there's an app. You can get it on your phone, and you can go point your phone at the sky, and it'll tell you what you're looking at. Even if you can't see it with your naked eye, it will tell you what it is and that it's there. Because half of the stuff, I couldn't see it. And, I suppose any clouds or overcast or anything like that, you can't see all the stars. Some of them are far away. But what about those stars that are far away? How do they get to play with the constellation formation? I don't know. But leave it to my husband. Leave it to my husband to find something like that, you know? And he is so pleased with it. He's just like, hey, come on, let's go look at this. I'm like, okay, all right. Let's go, honey. Let's go. Well, next thing on the agenda will be dinner. I have no idea what we're having for dinner. We didn't really have lunch. I bought some pretzels. There was a bake sale at this craft show as well. And I bought some pretzels that somebody seasoned. They were really good. They seasoned these pretzels. They were yummy. That was lunch, pretzels. We did have breakfast. We stopped at Subway and grabbed some Subway breakfast as we headed out to the show. But other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot of food consumption today. All right. This right here, all of these little dots right in here, well, most of those are ABs. Yay, ABs. They're pretty when they're in there. They're kind of a pain, though. They're kind of a pain. Yeah, this will be all ABs through here. And there's some more through this part right here. Yeah. So that's what I get to do after this. Okay, so this is weird, though. I just said all of this is AB through here to fill in this, but right here, these two dots are two fairy dusts. Why? Why did I feel the need to put two fairy dusts in and amongst all the ABs? Why? Do you think they're going to show up? Do you think anybody's going to notice two fairy dust in all the ABs? You know what's going to happen, don't you? When I paint this, when I put these drills down, you know what's going to happen, right? I'm not going to go grab those two fairy dusts. I'm going to put 3 ABs in there. That's what I'm going to do. Why would I dig out 2 fairy dusts in and amongst all the ABs? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to live like a rebel today. I'm going to be a rebel, not following the directions. And nobody can make me. Nobody can make me. Yeah. Sometimes I don't understand. There will be one drill of a different color. I get it if it's like an eyeball or something, but what difference does one drill make of a different color? Nobody's ever going to notice that, in my opinion. It's nothing special. You're not going to see it. You're not going to know you put it in there. Nobody's going to know. Why is it there? I don't get it. So lots of times I will just be like, no, not doing it. No, I'm not digging through just to find this one drill. Not doing it. I'll put whatever color I was working with at the time. That's what's going there. I challenge you to find it and tell me what I did wrong. Challenge you. All right, folks. I suppose it's that time. It is that time. Thanks for hanging out with me for a while and listening to me ramble on and on and on about, random stuff. I'll bet you money when I go out there in the living room, Mr. Sunny has not come in. The other two cats came in before I went live, and I told Dale, Sunny's outside. Keep your eye open for him. Let him in, because he's our little boy that likes to just be outside and not come in when he's supposed to come in, Like, dude, did you not see that it's dark outside? That means it's time for you to be in. So I'll bet you money when I go out in the living room, he has not come in yet. And if I have to go hunt the boy down, yeah, wish me luck. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Oh, biscuits and gravy. Yum. That sounds good. Yum, yum. Well, hello, Mary Lou, and we're Leo and Mary Lou. So hi and bye all at the same time. Thanks for stopping in, Mary Lou. Yep, that's me, Leona. I'll just put in there whatever I got that, yeah. Paula, I'm so proud of you. You made it through the whole thing. You're staying up late tonight. You made it through the whole thing. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy your Sunday. And I'll talk to everybody soon.